72 over by the good folks.
Bullet journaling and I have an interesting history. My relationship with bullet journaling has been very rocky, to say the least. Originally, I thought it was the stupidest idea ever. Honestly, I felt like bullet journaling was just another bullshit way for me to spend a lot of time and a lot of money on something I'd never use. But then I tried it and I thought, shit, I actually really like this. It was a humbling moment to figure out all the shit I had been talking about bullet journaling was wrong. I started last year and the notebook that I used is ripping out of the bind. Half of the pages are breaking off. Safe to say, she has fulfilled her duty. And so I have this one. So welcome to today's video, starting a bullet journal with me from scratch. Hopefully I can convince you that this is sort of a fun thing to do and you don't need to hate it as much as I did. But if you still hate it, that's fine. Let's get into it. We're gonna start off this chaos of an arts and crafts project with what I use to make a really easy but very sexy, if I do say so myself, which I just did, bullet journal. I'm just putting out some pens, a pencil, highlighters, some tape, a cutter, and no, I didn't realize it had a string of paper stuck to it, and yes, it's bothering me a lot. Then to spice things up, I'm adding a stencil, a label maker that I love with my entire heart, a ton of Etsy stickers from small businesses, and sticker paper. I think I found a really good balance between having an agenda, having a cute creative outlet, and not really caring that much about how pretty or aesthetic it looks, while still having like a pretty minimalist, good aesthetic with it. When I'm stressed from school and all the deadlines I'm gonna have coming up, I think a fun little journaling planning project helps take my mind off things, as long as I don't let it get too far and put too much pressure on myself. As you probably know if you've dipped your toe into the bullet journaling world, these notebooks are freaking expensive. They're like $30 for a dotted notebook. I found that the dollar store started selling bullet journals. I find the dots on these are really small. They're almost a really pale light gray, so you can't see them. Now let's get down to business. I love the idea of having a monthly themed bullet journal spread, but I didn't want to spend hours sketching and messing up on designs, so I think I found a solution. Basically, I measured out rectangular strips in the same size as my bullet journal page and took to Pinterest to find some cute photos that matched September to December and fit them into the strips so I could make sort of Dutch doors. Then I printed them out. This is a great idea because you can make it any color scheme or any theme you want without needing a degree from art school. I love drawing, as you might know, but I get stressed out when it's not entirely for fun. So this was nice to make little childhood cartoon themes and fall themes for every single month. Now let me just say, I had so many trials and errors for the sizing. Eventually I got the size down, so now I just have a ton of scrap paper with oversaturated photos of Lilo and Snoopy. I'm not complaining. Now listen to this cutting ASMR, please. I cut the strips down to the size of my bullet journal and tested to see how they'd fit. And because this video is now on the internet, you can guess, they fit really well. Time to start bullet journaling. I have changed the angle. Granted, you can't tell, because I'm behind a white wall and my new roommate and I still haven't put anything up decor-wise. I think we're procrastinating the ability to have a cute apartment. I don't know. I'm not complaining though, because back to school season has kind of punched my wallet in the face. Anyway, even though I just acted extremely tough about the pressures of having a pretty bullet journal, I'm afraid of having an ugly bullet journal. On one hand, I don't really care because I know I kind of like the chaos, but on the other hand, that first page is a mistake I'd have to look at for a long ass time. Now we get to either the fun or the awful part, depending on how you look at it. I'm starting off with a 2021 intro page in case, I ever forget what year it is. Then the first spread I'm making is a goals page. I know 2021 is almost over, but it isn't too late for me to write down what I wanted for the year or what I still want, and also what I've achieved so far. I focus a lot on what I want, so I wanted to make a page for what I already had. Don't worry, I'm gonna make this more colorful as I go along. Then I wanted to make a page for the books I've read in 2021 because I wanted to read at least 12 books this year. I screwed up my idea for a little Dutch door at first, but it's fine. I DIY fixed it. You can't even see the tape unless you look really close. I decided to use some stickers to make little bullet points for the books and then leave a little bit of space in between each one so I could write down what I learned from the book. And I think I'll use the back of the Dutch door at the end of the year to write down what my favorite books were, my least favorite, and just some notes that I have to keep in mind for the next year. Now this is my first bullet journaling video, so I don't know if I'm doing this right, but here's a mini flip through of this part. When I added a little bit of color with my highlighters and just a couple little accents around the pages, I think it really brings all of these little spreads to life. I don't really feel the need for having too many, because funny enough, too many spreads kind of stresses me out that I have to keep track of everything in my life. I did also add 2 spreads without realizing that my camera died, so please pretend there isn't a gaping hole in this video so I don't get sad and overthink it. I made a little YouTube tracker, and I did something cool for this other page where I taped an envelope to the inside so I could keep stickers that I use frequently in the bullet journal without losing them. I love this part so far. Now, without giving too much away about the next part, let me make the next part. Me again. Now that I did these little intro pages, I'm gonna move on to the monthly spreads / the weekly spreads. We're going to start off with September. It's a little bit into September already, so I'm gonna be skipping the first couple of weeks. But my monthly / weekly spread, tickles my pickle. I'm sorry for saying that, yuck. It makes me very excited. It makes me very happy. And this, friends, is how you get slightly looped into the bullet journal pipe dream. Here's a teeny weeny preview of the themes that I'm making for each month to hopefully convince you to keep watching this video. I'm making little lines on the page for where I want to put each of the Dutch door printouts, and then I'm counting how many pages I have for each week left in each month. Then I'm cutting out where I made that line so I can have each month divided by the cute themes I made with the strips. I decided to use sticker paper because I just felt like it would be easier than gluing it on, but if you don't have access to sticker paper, normal paper, tape, and glue works like probably almost the same thing. I just needed a moment to appreciate that all the time I took planning this out worked out because this is starting to look amazing. Then I'm making 8 squares, so 7 for each day of the week, and then 1 so I can write out some reminders for myself for the week after. This is gonna be long. I'm going to use my label maker to write out numbers for the days of the month. I got this one because Claudia Saluski recommended it like 3 or 4 years ago, and I have been using it since, like all the time. I've found really strange ways to somehow always need a label maker, but after making the little labels, I popped them into each day, and I added a little next for the upcoming square. Then I'm just popping in a little top objectives and achievements part for myself and leaving the page next to it open to kind of just brainstorm for the month if I want to. Then I did the exact same thing for October, November, and December. Maybe you can tell by the tone in my voice that this took long. Just so you know, I made 2 coffees and a tea, took at least 12 breaks to bend my back in this time, and also probably terrified my roommate who walked in and saw me having an arts and crafts fiasco at the dining table. I will say though, those rectangles are looking as sexy as a rectangle can look, so I'm not complaining. I think the annoying part about bullet journaling is that at first it takes a really long time, but I feel like I kind of shortcutted that by not having too many spreads. Kind of run out of things to say right now, so maybe if you want to subscribe, I swear to God, asking someone to subscribe is like embarrassing because I realize there's somebody listening to that and like making the conscious decision in their brain to either click or not click. Last but not least, I added little September, October, November, and December labels just to make like a little tab of the months. Then to finish things off, I used a pair of scissors and just cut off the excess sticker and like parts of the bullet journal that were just all wonky because I didn't cut everything properly. Right after I was done all the heavy lifting, it's not really lifting, but my hand was sore, I actually had to TA for a class. It also started raining and made my room look really dark and gloomy. I decided to write out actual deadlines and due dates into my agenda. And for the actual fun part for me, which is using fun stickers that I got off of Etsy, highlighters, color coding to just kind of organize my life and my deadlines. Here is what it looks like. You already saw these first couple of pages, so I'm kind of just zooming through them. I just needed you to have the full effect, you know? You can't blame me. I mean, you kind of can, but here we go. Obviously, my bullet journal isn't done because it's for the next few upcoming months, but I just added in some things. I put some stickers. I made the themes more their own. I'm really excited about this. I'm just gonna let you appreciate it while I look and appreciate it. But seeing this as a finished project just brings so much satisfaction to my brain, and I think that it looks really nice. We did it. I planned a little bit for the year, mostly for the next couple months. I really like the way that I set up my bullet journal. I'm very excited about it. Let me know if you use a bullet journal, if you subscribe to the bullet journal movement. If you are like, hell no, post notifications will not be on. Speaking of, maybe you want to subscribe to me. I would like to point out that the entire time I am filming this video, this is what I see. Margot is just judging the shit out of me. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to my bullet journal. You will be seeing more of her in the future. We're like an on again, off again. We are Ross and Rachel. In this case, I quite literally am Ross. Anyway, hopefully I will see you in another one of my videos. Bye. We were on a break.